अस्सलाम वालेकुम। पब्लिक पॉलिसी डायलॉग के फॉर्म पे आप सबको खुशामदीद। मेरा नाम फिदा मोहम्मद है। आज के इस सेशन का इन्वान है रोल ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी इन कंट्रोलिंग इन्फ्लेशन। इस मौजू पे गुफ्तगू करने के लिए और अपनी कीमती तजुर्बात और मुशाहदात से हमें आगाह करने के लिए डॉक्टर अतीकुर रहमान साहब हमारे दरमियान मौजूद हैं। डॉक्टर साहब कश्मीर इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इकनॉमिक्स, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ आज़ाद जम्मू एंड कश्मीर के डायरेक्टर, डिपार्टमेंट of Islamic Economics and Banking की चेयरपर्सन एंड कश्मीर इकोनॉमिक यूनियन के एग्जीक्यूटिव मेंबर हैं। फ्रेश इस्लामिक यूनिवर्सिटी में और नस्ट फेडरल यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ और दीगर इदारों में अपनी खिदमत अंजाम दे चुके हैं। इस सेशन के मेज़बान डॉक्टर फैसल सुल्तान कादरी साहब हैं। आप अप्लाइड इकोनॉमिक रिसर्च सेंटर में एज ए रिसर्च इकोनॉमिस्ट अपने फ़र्ज अंजाम दे रहे हैं। मैं डॉक्टर फैसल सुल्तान कादरी साहब से दरख्वास्त करूँगा कि इस मिसरत का बाकायदा से आगाज़ कीजिए। जी डॉक्टर कादरी साहब। डॉक्टर साहब आप सुन रहे हैं मुझे?
जी शुक्रिया। मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी में काफ़ी ड्रास्टिक चेंजेस आए, लाइक अंडर 100 डेज, यानी अगर आप इसको देखें कि इंटरेस्ट रेट 13.25% से 7% तक चला गया मार्च 18 से लेकर जून 26 तक। अब इसके अलावा बात की जाती है इफेक्टिवनेस ऑफ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी की, और आजकल इन्फ्लेशन के तस्करे तो ज़बान ज़द आम है। इसके बावजूद मुख्तलिफ डायमेंशंस की निशानदेही की जा रही है। कुछ फोरम्स में भी बात की जा रही है कि ये स्ट्रक्चरल इन्फ्लेशन है। अगर जिस तरह कुछ पॉलिसी मेकर्स की जाने से माफियाज की भी बात होती है या शॉर्टेज इन सप्लाई की बात हो रही है, स्पेशली फूड इन्फ्लेशन की बात हो रही है, तो सबसे पहले तो सर से दरख्वास्त ये है कि रीजंस ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन को एक्सप्लेन कर दें। उसके बाद मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी के हवाले से इस इन्फ्लेशन पर किस तरीके से काबू पाया जा सकता है, इस पर रोशनी डालें। जी डॉक्टर साहब।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। बहुत शुक्रिया आप लोगों का मुझे इनवाइट करने के लिए और ये इतने इम्पॉर्टेंट इशू पे ये डायलॉग अरेंज करने के लिए। लेट मी शेयर माय स्क्रीन विद यू इफ आई कैन। अच्छा, इन्फ्लेशन तो वो मुख्तलिफ लोगों के मुख्तलिफ रिप्लाईज होते हैं, ठीक है। अगर आप लोग एक टिपिकल इकोनॉमिस्ट की बात करें या जो टेक्स्ट बुक में इकोनॉमिक्स लिखी हुई है उसकी बात करें, आपको ये रिप्लाई मिलेगा जो टेक्स्ट बुक में पढ़ाया जाता है, दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ मनी सप्लाई। मनी सप्लाई इंक्रीज होगी तो इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ गया। अब अजीब बात यह है, आफ्टर द कमिंग इनटू चार्ज ऑफ दिस गवर्नमेंट, जब ये इस गवर्नमेंट ने चार्ज संभाला तो उस वक्त स्टेट बैंक से बारोइंग थी तकरीबन 7,000 बिलियन, 7 ट्रिलियन रुपीज़। इन्होंने मार्केट से पैसा कलेक्ट किया कमर्शियल बैंक से और वो स्टेट बैंक को पैसे वापस किए। टुडे द डेट फ्रॉम सेंट्रल बैंक इज 0। तो 7,000 रुपीज़ जब आपने मार्केट से सक किए और वो पे कर दिया आपने सेंट्रल बैंक को, तो इसका मतलब है यू हैव रिड्यूस्ड द मनी सप्लाई। सही। अब जब मनी सप्लाई में इतनी बड़ी रिडक्शन आई है तो इसका मतलब है दिस इज नॉट द रीजन फॉर इन्फ्लेशन, ये नहीं हो सकता। अब दूसरी बात, अगर आप कॉमन पब्लिक की बात करो, उनसे पूछो तो वो निस्बतन मेरे ख्याल में उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग कुछ बेहतर होती है एक टिपिकल इकोनॉमिस्ट की निस्बत। तो वो ये कहते हैं कि भाई ऑयल प्राइसेस एंड एक्सचेंज रेट, these are the two main reasons for inflation, and this is true. Historically, oil prices and exchange rate have been driving the inflation, but at present this is not the reason. You have seen the oil prices are stable in Pakistan since last 1 year. ऐसे पाकिस्तान में तो खैर मामूली चेंज आती रही है, लेकिन इंटरनेशनल ऑयल प्राइसेस स्टेबल नहीं बल्कि वो डाउन गई हैं। तो अगर वो डाउन गई हैं तो यहाँ पे इन्फ्लेशन को डाउन जाना चाहिए, बस दिस डिड नॉट हैपन। एक्सचेंज रेट स्टेबल है अलबत्ता, तो इन दोनों चीजों से भी इन्फ्लेशन इस दफा का नहीं है. रीसेंट इन्फ्लेशन इज नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ दी these two factors. अच्छा, then if you ask the government what is the reason for inflation, they have one standard reply: the previous government had borrowed too much. इतना ज्यादा उन्होंने डेट लिया हुआ है, एंड दैट डेट इज द रीजन फॉर, वो डेट रीपेमेंट के लिए हमें पैसे चाहिए होते हैं, वहां पे हम कंज्यूम करते हैं, उसकी वजह से टैक्सेस लगाने पड़ते हैं, एंड द करंट इन्फ्लेशन इज बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. बट it would be quite surprising that there is no single rupee reserved for the debt repayments. जो आपका रिसेंट बजट है उसमें 1 रुपया भी डेट रीपेमेंट के लिए नहीं है. दिस इज द स्नैपशॉट ऑफ योर रिसेंट बजट. You see, on the top you can see markup payments. You have markup payment on domestic debt, and then you have markup payment on foreign debt. These are the two things. आप उस पे markup पे कर रहे हैं, सूद पे कर रहे हैं, but where is the allocation for debt repayment? If you look at the last line, there is foreign loan repayment, and in the budget 2019-20 जो पिछले साल का बजट था, there were 1,245 billion rupees reserved for the actually reserved amount was 10,095 billion, and actual consumption was 1,245 billion for the foreign debt repayments. But thanks to COVID-19, in the current year there is no single rupee reserved for the foreign debt repayment. ना तो फॉरेन डेट की रीपेमेंट के लिए 1 पैसा है, और ना ही डोमेस्टिक डेट की रीपेमेंट के लिए 1 पैसा है. What is the money for? The money is reserved for the markup payments. Markup payment on domestic debt, and then you have markup payment on the foreign debt. That's all. ठीक है. तो the reason for inflation, if we are accepting the argument of the government, actually the reason for inflation is not the debt repayment, it's the markup repayment. It's the markup payment which is causing inflation. अच्छा, अब at present there are 2,631 billion rupees reserved for the markup repayments, and the total budget layout is 6,344 billion. तो अगर आप इसको कैलकुलेट करें तो एक्चुअली 41% of the budget is going into markup repayment. अब इश्यू ये है, the markup is associated with the monetary policy. This is associated with the policy rate. The policy rate going up, the markup payment also going up. So ये जो आज बजट में हम 41% पे कर रहे हैं बैंक्स को, this is not because of the borrowing of the previous government. This is because we have decided the policy rate to be 13% in the beginning, and then this is 70 multiples of the policy rate in the United Kingdom, and this is 28 multiples of the policy rate in United States, and similarly this is many multiples of the other countries. I will tell you the data. So the payment in the budgets that are there, that are visible, are because of the choice of policy rate. ये जो शरह सूद हमारे लोगों ने मुंतखब की है, स्टेट बैंक की मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी ने मुंतखब की है, इसकी वजह से हमें इतनी मार्कअप पेमेंट करनी पड़ती है. और ये जो बजट में प्रेशर है, जो फिस्कल प्रेशर है इस वक्त, दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ द पॉलिसी रेट. और ये ये आपको एक स्नैपशॉट दिखा रहा हूं डेट का. जी
सर ये एक सवाल आया है मैसेज में, आप चाहें तो कमेंट कर दें या आप बाद में कर लीजिएगा। जब बाकी लोगों से भी दरख्वास्त है कि जो भी सवाल हैं वो फिदा को व्हाट्सएप कर दें या चैट पे डाल दें। सर एक सवाल आया इसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में जो आप फरमा रहे थे, वो सवाल ये पूछा गया है कि जो डॉक्टर रजा बाकर जो अभी करंट गवर्नर है, ये 18 इयर्स IMF में गुजार के आए, फिर 2 साल वर्ल्ड बैंक में गुजार के आए, तो इनके आने के बाद कोई चेंजेस आए हैं उसका इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आप चाहें तो कमेंट कर दें जिस तरीके से आप चाहें। जी सर।
If you look at this data, this is telling you that in 2018, in April 2018, the PML government was in power and they made their last budget. Or at that time, the debt was 16,400 billion rupees. And they reserved 1,391 billion rupees for the markup payments. उस वक्त पॉलिसी रेट था 5.75% and they reserved 1,391 billion rupees. After 1 year, in April 2019, when this government made its first budget, the debt was 18,529 rupees. This was 13% higher than the April 2018. And they reserved 2,531 billion for the debt repayment, for the markup payments. अच्छा, अब आप देखें the debt में rise है, that is only 13%. During this 1 year, the rise in debt is only 13%, and the rise in the markup payment is 82%. अब ये देखो, domestic debt is not repaid. ये बात आप याद रखें. In this budget and in the previous budget and in the budget 2 years ago, and even for if you go for last 10 years, there is no single rupee for the debt repayment. There are only rupees reserved for the markup payments. ठीक है, जो एक्चुअल अमाउंट ऑफ डेट है वो इरेलीवेंट है, मार्कअप ही रेलिवेंट है. फॉरेन डेट रीपेमेंट के लिए पैसे रखे होते हैं, लेकिन डोमेस्टिक डेट रीपेमेंट के लिए पैसे नहीं है. डोमेस्टिक डेट पे सिर्फ मार्कअप फाइनेंसिंग के लिए पैसे होते हैं, दैट्स इट. ठीक है, अब वो जो मार्कअप फाइनेंसिंग है उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट ने 1391 बिलियन रिजर्व किए थे, पीएमएल की गवर्नमेंट ने. और जब इन्होंने अपना पहला बजट बनाया तो दे रिजर्व 2531 बिलियन, विच इज 82% हायर. तो व्हाट डू यू मीन? Did they borrow 82% in 1 year? No, they did not borrow 82%. They borrowed just 13%. Then what is the reason that there is so much increase in the markup payments? The reason is they increased the policy rate. उन्होंने policy rate को at the time in April 2019 the policy rate was about 12.25%. तो वो उसी हिसाब से आपका मार्कअप पेमेंट बढ़ गई. In April 2019 the debt was 18,529 billion. और एक साल बाद April 2020 में the debt became 2,300 billion. There is 25% rise. ठीक, लेकिन इसमें ये देखें at the time of preparation of budget the policy rate came down to 9%. ये 12% से वापस 9% पे आ गया. अब इसके साथ होना यूं चाहिए, because the policy rate is going down, तो debt repayment कम हो जानी चाहिए, लेकिन there is still a rise. इसमें 4% का फिर इंक्रीज है. अब इसकी क्या रीजन है? उसकी रीजन ये है कि इस गवर्नमेंट ने शॉर्ट टर्म डेट को लॉन्ग टर्म डेट में ट्रांसफॉर्म कर दिया. दिस गवर्नमेंट इज borrowing the debt for 20 years, 12 years, 15 years, and so and so. The short term, when the previous government left the economy for this government, at that time the debt composition was in favor of short term debt. उस वक्त जो है 60% डेट शॉर्ट टर्म था। शॉर्ट टर्म की रोटेशन होती है 3 महीने के बाद। ये बेसिकली इसका स्ट्रक्चर डेट का ये है ना कि बॉन्ड सेल होते हैं और वो बॉन्ड उसके ऊपर डिस्काउंट होता है। यानी इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द शॉर्ट टर्म डेट, तो उसमें ये होता है कि देयर इज ए ट्रेजरी बिल, उसकी डिनोमिनेशन है फॉर एग्जांपल 50,000, तो ये सेल होगा बैंकों को और वो डिस्काउंट पे सेल होगा। फॉर एग्जांपल डिनोमिनेशन ऊपर लिखी हुई है 50,000, तो बैंक ऑफर करेंगे कि वी आर परचेजिंग दिस बॉन्ड फॉर 47,000 रुपीज से फॉर एग्जांपल। तो ये जो 3,000 का फर्क है वो उनका मार्कअप है। अब एट द एंड ऑफ टेन्योर ऑफ दिस बॉन्ड, द बैंक कैन गेट द entire money written on the bond, the face value of the bond, back from the central bank. तो वो उन्होंने 47,000 में खरीदा, 50,000 में वापस बेचा, तो 3,000 इज दी प्रॉफिट ऑफ द बैंक। अब इसके अगेंस्ट जो लॉन्ग टर्म डेट है उसका स्ट्रक्चर इस तरह से होता है कि उस पर दो चीजें होती हैं। शॉर्ट टर्म डेट पे सिर्फ डिस्काउंट होता है, जो लॉन्ग टर्म डेट है उस पर दो चीजें होती हैं, एक कूपन होता है और एक डिस्काउंट होता है। कूपन क्या होता है? द गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड्स दैट वी विल पे यू दिस अमाउंट ऑफ मार्कअप पर एनम। लॉन्ग टर्म डेट है ना, तो वो लंबे ड्यूरेशन के लिए होगा, ड्यूरेशन चेंजेस फ्रॉम 3 इयर्स अप टू 20 इयर्स। ठीक, तो उसके ऊपर दो चीजें होती है, एक मार्कअप, द गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड्स दैट वी विल पे यू दिस अमाउंट ऑफ मार्कअप एवरी ईयर, एक वो हो गया। और सेकंड है डिस्काउंट, वो इतना मार्कअप देख के उसके बाद भी बैंक जो है वो मजीद डिस्काउंट क्लेम कर सकते हैं। They will say that if the denomination of bond is 50,000, we will pay you 48,000. इस तरह से आप उससे कम करके पैसे ऑफर कर सकते हैं। तो वो गवर्नमेंट और सेंट्रल बैंक के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बैठ के डिसाइड कर लेते हैं कि अच्छा भाई हमने कितना डेट बारो करना है अभी। तो एनीवे, अब इन्होंने ये किया कि दे ट्रांसफॉर्म द डेट फ्रॉम शॉर्ट टर्म टू लॉन्ग टर्म। अब शॉर्ट टर्म में आपके पास सिर्फ रीपेमेंट होती है, उसमें एनुअल मार्कअप पेमेंट नहीं होती, जबकि लॉन्ग टर्म में एनुअल मार्कअप पेमेंट होती रहती है साथ साथ। और एट द एंड वो लोग वापस बॉन्ड सेंट्रल बैंक को वापस करके जो उसकी फेस वैल्यू है वो वापस ले सकते हैं। ठीक है, अब फॉर एग्जांपल अगर गवर्नमेंट ने बॉन्ड बारो किया जिसका टेन्योर है 20 इयर्स का, तो पूरे 20 इयर्स तक द गवर्नमेंट हैज टू पे the markup on that debt. Even if the policy rate goes down, even if the policy rate goes to 2%, the government is bound to pay the coupon rate till the end of the tenure of the bond. So, because of this transformation from short debt into long debt, the policy rate has virtually become ineffective. Now, if the government is reducing policy rate, this can immediately affect only the short-term debt, but most of the debt is now transformed into the longer term. So, this is not having that much effect. अब होना यूं चाहिए कि because of the reduction, the total markup payment should go down, but because they have transformed the debt from short term into long term, so there is nominal reduction. सिर्फ 4% का increase हुआ, otherwise it could be because the borrowing is too much. The borrowing during 1920 is 25% of the entire amount of previous tenure. तो लेकिन उसके ऊपर जो मार्कअप इंक्रीज हुआ that is only 4%, and this reduction in the rise in the markup payment is due to the change in policy rate. अच्छा, अब बात यह है कि आखिर स्टेट बैंक ऐसा क्यों करता है, वो पॉलिसी रेट क्यों इंक्रीज करते हैं या कम क्यों करते हैं? तो बेसिकली वो ये कहते हैं कि दे कैन चेंज द inflation by using policy rate. The state bank, the central bank thinks that they can change the inflation by using policy rate. But there are two views. One is the mainstream view, which says when interest rate rises, the people will reduce their spending. If they are planning to purchase a, for example, fridge, they will say today the markup is too high. I cannot borrow from the bank today, so I will purchase it tomorrow. So because of this, the aggregate demand goes down, and because of this reduction in aggregate demand, the bank thinks that the inflation is going down, and this is called demand channel of monetary transmission mechanism. And there is opposite view as well. And uh, what is the opposite view? When the interest rate is going up, the firms are producing after borrowing from the banks, right? The cost of borrowing will go up. If the cost of borrowing is going up, what will happen? The producer will transform this cost of borrowing to the customer, and the inflation will go up. This is the alternative view. This is called cost channel of monetary transmission mechanism. अब इश्यू ये है, अगर आपके पास दो alternate views हैं, if you have two alternate views, I guess there are some foreigners as well in the seminar, so I should focus on English because I'm seeing one name which I guess is from Bangladesh.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir.
Acha. So so the issue is, if there are two views, one view says that if you increase the policy rate, the inflation is going up. The other view says that if you increase a policy rate, inflation may go down. Then what is needed? Extreme care is needed. Because what you see in the monetary policy statements, if you go to the website of the State Bank of Pakistan and you explore the monetary policy statement for last 2 years, every second month the State Bank releases its monetary policy statement, and in every monetary policy statement you will find the prime reason for deciding policy rate to be inflation. They are thinking that they can control inflation by using this policy rate. So if there are alternative views on this, then what is needed? Extreme care is needed in deciding the policy rate. What they have to do? They have to decide whether the demand channel is effective and or whether this cost channel is effective. If the cost channel is effective, then they should never increase the policy rate because it will borrow more inflation. It will purchase more inflation. But actually, what happens? The State Bank and other central banks as well, they are assuming only demand channel. Whereas, if you look at the data, you will find the evidences for the cost channel. I will show you the evidences. Let me give you a brief overview of the history of monetary policy. Monetary policy has been focusing on several objectives, which include stable and sustained economic growth, full employment, stability of financial system, stability of exchange rate, and the price stability. But what is the top priority? This has been changing. At some time, the growth was the focus, the unemployment was the focus. But now, the focus is policy rates, is price stability. Today, the focus is price stability. What is the monetary policy framework currently followed? This is called inflation targeting framework. So the name itself clears. The primary target is inflation, and the primary tool is interest rate. Achha, I'm skipping some of the things, but just tell you one thing which is there. Look, in Pakistan, the growth rate has been 5.8%. This went down to 1.9%. And then this year, this went down to minus 0.4%. right? The reduction in growth rate also means reduction in employment. Now look, if the focus was growth, if the focus was employment, what should the state bank do? State bank should ease the economy. State bank should provide the space to economy, and it should reduce the interest rate. But still, this is very high. When this government took charge, the policy rate was 5.75%, and today it is 7%. This should be less than the era of PML because today the growth rate is going down. The economy has shrunken. To accommodate this shrunken growth, they should reduce the policy rate down from 5.75 to 2%, for example. But actually, what is happening? They have kept the policy rate much higher than what it was in the era of PMLN. So this indicates that the focus is inflation, but this is wrong focus. They are thinking that they can reduce inflation by keeping the rate high. Pakistan, I will tell you some evidences for this. Uh, let me show you this monetary policy statement. This is the monetary policy statement for November 2019. Okay? What it says, the Monetary Policy Committee decided to leave the policy rate unchanged at 13.25%. The decision reflected Monetary Policy Committee views that development have had offsetting implication for inflation outlook. यहाँ पे आपको पहली चीज जो समझ आई, the first reason they have cited for deciding the policy rate is inflation. The focus has become inflation. Whereas, if the growth was focus, if the unemployment was focus, the central bank should reduce the policy rate. लेकिन वो ऐसा कर नहीं रही. अच्छा, now there are some evidences. This is not happening only in Pakistan. This is happening in the entire world. Okay. I have brought some evidences. For example, this Langdana. Langdana says that European Central Bank has unambiguously and adamantly announced that a target of less than or equal to 2% inflation is only macroeconomic goal that it will attempt to attain. The target of the macroeconomic goals, the target of Monetary Policy Committee of the European Central Bank is also price stability. And similarly, one evidence from Michigan is also here. But let me look into some practical evidences. These are some practical evidences. Okay. Achha, these are the measure of correlation between interest rate and inflation for various economies of the world. जिसका data मिला ना वो सारा data summarize कर दिया यहाँ पे. For example, ये एक पेयर है, DR means discount rate, ठीक, and then GBY means government bond yield. This is also a measure of interest rate, and then policy rate. We found the discount rate for 25 countries. ठीक, out of these 25 countries, the coefficient of relationship between interest rate and inflation was positive for 15 countries and negative for 10 countries. अब जहां पे negative है, this is negative and insignificant. Significant for only 5 countries. And this is the time period for this is 2000 up to 2006, before the global financial crisis. So you see, most of the countries are having positive coefficients. What does this mean? If interest rate is going up, the inflation is also going up. और ये एक आध evidence नहीं है, these are evidences from entire world. ठीक है. The number of coefficients which are supporting the monetary policy view is only 5 out of 25, जहां पे negative भी है और significant भी है. If the coefficient is negative and significant, this means that the view of the central bank is true. And out of 25 countries, there are only 5 countries in which the coefficient is both negative and significant. Now, if you come to this period 2009 up to 2019, ये last panel in this table, we could get the data for 58 countries, जिनके लिए इस पीरियड का हमें डेटा अवेलेबल हुआ. And out of these 58 countries, the 38 countries explicitly showed positive sign. इन्होंने सपोर्ट किया किसको? दी कॉस्ट चैनल को. इनका यहाँ से कोफिशिएंट ये इंडिकेट करता है कि अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट इंक्रीज होगा तो इन्फ्लेशन विल आल्सो गो अप. ठीक. There were only 13 countries showing a negative sign, but only 7 of these 13 countries showed a significant sign. यानी जो दुनिया भर में इस वक्त inflation targeting is the main framework which is being adapted in the entire world, and the support for inflation targeting framework is only 7 out of 58. आप लोग इसको कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो कितने परसेंट बनता है. ठीक. And rest of all is going against the validity of the inflation targeting framework. What is the reason? Reason is very simple, which is explained in the cost channel of monetary transmission mechanism, which says that if the interest rate is going up, the cost of production goes up. और जब cost of production बढ़ती है तो फिर वो जाहिर है कि प्रोड्यूसर अपने पास तो उसको नहीं रखेगा ना कास्ट को. The producer will shift the cost to the borrower, to the customer. That is what happening. अच्छा, this is the data for the United States for the period 2000 up to 2020. ठीक है. अच्छा, one break is visible in this data. This break corresponds to the global financial crisis. You see, the red line is discount rate, and before the global financial crisis, the discount rate was between 6% and 1%. ठीक है. अच्छा, in this whole period, यानी ये अगर आप एवरेज ले लें तो you will find it to be about 4%. Before global financial crisis, the interest rate is averaging at about 4%, and inflation is also averaging at about 4%. Right? To deal with the global financial crisis, the interest rate was brought down. This became 0.25%. And if you look at the inflation is also going down. अब वो पहले वाला लेवल मेंटेन नहीं रहा. The average of the inflation after global financial crisis is not as the previous. This is about 1%. ठीक है. What does this indicate? Interest rate उन्होंने कम किया और as a result inflation also went down. ठीक है. What does this indicate? ये बतलाता है कि भाई जो स्टेट बैंक कर रहा है या जो सेंट्रल बैंक्स कर रहे हैं, तो दैट इज नॉट ए वैलिड व्यू. वो चीज वैलिड नहीं है. अच्छा, अब इश्यू ये हुआ है कि द वर्ल्ड हैज लर्नड लेसन. दुनिया ने इसको समझा है और वो उन्होंने उसको एडजस्ट किया है. अब व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, although the world did not officially divorce the inflation targeting framework, but practically they have divorced. वो कैसे? What is the dominant monetary policy practices these days? This is called quantitative easing. Quantitative easing in जैसे in United States after this pandemic, the policy rate was brought down from 2.5% to 0.25%. 1/10 रिडक्शन की उसमें, कितनी रिडक्शन की? 1/10. ठीक है, तो अब इतनी रिडक्शन पे इन्फ्लेशन का तूफान आ जाना चाहिए बकौले सेंट्रल बैंक्स के, या जो इन्फ्लेशन टारगेटिंग फ्रेमवर्क प्रिडिक्ट करता है, देयर शुड बी अ फ्लड ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन, बट एक्चुअली देयर इज नो फ्रेमवर्क, देयर इज नो फ्लड ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. The inflation today is less than what it was in the previous year, right? So they have if they were following the inflation targeting framework, they should not opt such a huge reduction in the policy rate, but they did, and this is called quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is just opposite of the inflation targeting framework. They did quantitative easing and they did it successfully, and the inflation is not high. And similarly, in many other parts of the world, the countries have adopted quantitative easing. For example, in United Kingdom, the policy rate before pandemic was 0.7%, and today it is only 0.1%. 1/7 reduction है उसमें, and they did it successfully. There is no inflation in the United Kingdom as well, right? But हमने रिडक्शन की, but still we are at a higher level than what it was inherited by the government. They inherited at 5.75%, but today it is 7%. आज भी उन्होंने उसको हाई रखा हुआ है. अच्छा, अब ये this is the most recent data of United States. ठीक है, ये पिछले 2 सालों का डेटा है, 2019 and 2020. Look, the policy rate was 3%, then it was brought down to 2.75%, and then it was brought further down to 2.5%, and then after pandemic this was brought to 0.25%. Look at the lines of for inflation, where is it going? Inflation is also going down. ठीक है, now if you are learning from the world experience, the world experience is clearly showing that if the policy rate is going down, the inflation is also going down. हम अभी तक वो उस पे स्टक करके बैठे हुए हैं. दिस इज क्वाइट स्ट्रेंज. ठीक है, अच्छा, दिस इज द अब लुक एट दिस डेटा. ये जो डिस्काउंट रेट जब आपके पास डाउन गया है तो इन्फ्लेशन इज फर्दर डाउन, एंड जब आपके पास डिस्काउंट रेट अप गया है तो इन्फ्लेशन इज आल्सो गोइंग अप. Pakistani data is also supporting the same view, right? अच्छा, अब इशू ये है कि जो सेंट्रल बैंक एक्ट है पाकिस्तान में, SBP एक्ट, the SBP act bounds the state bank to do research on the state of economy and to report to the parliament, and they actually do the research. They explore everything. They explore what the Federal Board of Revenue is doing. They explore what the Ministry of Finance is doing, and they explore everything. But what they don't explore is the functionality of their own monetary policy. उसको वो explore नहीं करते. If there is anyone in this webinar from State Bank of Pakistan, you can refute me by evidences. There is no single paper on the website of State Bank of Pakistan which shows that their monetary policy is working. एक भी पेपर वहां पे मौजूद नहीं है. If there is anybody from the State Bank of Pakistan, so you can refute me by evidences, but I could not find any single evidence on the देखो, this is actually a project to control inflation. हमने जो बजट देखा ना, बजट में एक बहुत heavy allocation is there for the markup payment, right? Or markup payment is associated with the policy rate. If the state bank is deciding that policy rate would be 1%, the markup payment will reduce from 2600 billions to just 260 billions. ठीक है, मार्कअप पेमेंट ही सबसे बड़ा मसला है ना बजट में इस वक्त. सबसे बड़ी एलोकेशन इज गोइंग फॉर मार्कअप पेमेंट, राइट? The state bank has the authority to reduce this. They can decide the policy rate to be 1%, right? But they kept it very high. What is the reason? The reason is the state in the monetary policy statements is to control inflation. ठीक है, so the actual cost, ये जो हम 2600 billions पे कर रहे हैं ना, this is not the cost of borrowing, right? This is cost of controlling inflation. 2600 billion का प्रोजेक्ट है जिसमें हम इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल करने की अटेम्प्ट कर रहे हैं, सही? And we are not seeing any improvement. We are not seeing any reduction in the inflation. तो इतने बड़े प्रोजेक्ट का ऑडिट कहाँ पे हो रहा है? Where is the audit of this project? Where is the evidence that this huge project, the consumption of 2600 billion rupees is bringing some fruit? Where are the evidences? Right? Acha. Okay. On contrary, as I have seen you, there is no single paper on the State Bank website which is supporting the their monetary policy statement. But on contrary, there are the papers on the State Bank website which are supporting caste channel. And there are more than one papers like this. One paper is written by some IMF staff member back in 2009, and he advised the central bank not to adopt the inflation targeting framework. Why? Because he was saying that caste channel is effective, and he understands that if caste channel is effective, the increase in policy rate will increase inflation. This was the advice by IMF staff member back in 2009. And there are other papers as well which are supporting credit channel. Credit channel also says that if you increase the policy rate, inflation will go up. ठीक है, अब credit channel की support वहाँ पे मौजूद है, cost channel की वहाँ पे support मौजूद है, but there is no single evidence for the demand channel, which is justifying the use of policy rate for inflation for inflation control. अब ये कर क्या रहे हैं? यानी पैसा गवर्नमेंट का और थोड़ा नहीं 2600 billion. We are always talking about the military budget. Let me show you the budget document again. This is your budget document, right? Acha, see what are the expenditure for defense affairs and services? 1289 billion rupees, right? What are the expenditure for markup payment? 2631 billion rupees. यानी जितना हमारा डिफेंस इंपॉर्टेंट है उसके डबल से ज्यादा इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल इंपॉर्टेंट है. And that's why we are consuming more than double of the amount reserved for the defense on the inflation control. This is such a huge project. और इस प्रोजेक्ट के फ्रूट कहाँ पे हैं? What is the net effect of this project? Is it a successful project? There is no audit for this project. There is no accounting for this project. State Bank is just carrying on its monetary policy. And अच्छा, Let me go back to where I was. Okay. Acha. Look, what are the policy rates today in the world? In the United States, before the pandemic, the policy rate was 2.25%, and they brought it down to 0.25%. 1/10 reduction की उन्होंने to accommodate the businesses during pandemic. और इसके अलावा उन्होंने इतना huge fiscal stimulus दिया, which is 3,700 billion dollars. Similarly, in United Kingdom, the policy rate was 0.7% and they brought it down to 0.1%. In India, this is 4%. In Vietnam, this is 4%. In Bangladesh, this is 4.75%. Thailand, 0.5%. And we are stuck at 7% today. अच्छा, अब होता क्या है? As I have told you, higher policy rate means higher the markup payments. ठीक है? And higher markup payments means you have to impose tax, you have to reduce subsidies. ठीक है? अब जब taxes increase होंगे, जब subsidies reduce होंगी, तो what will happen? What will happen to inflation? There is no this is not a rocket science to understand. सादा सी बात है, जब taxes बढ़ेंगे तो prices बढ़ जाएंगी. That is what is happening. अच्छा, अब सेंट्रल बैंक को करना क्या चाहिए? What should be the kind of monetary policy that central bank should adopt actually? What I propose is to reduce the policy rate to 2%. What will happen if they are making the policy rate 2%? Look, one is the fear of inflation, which is causing the central bank to reduce the policy rate. अब वो inflation कैसे आता है? The central bank thinks that the demand will go very up, very high. And if the demand is high, the inflation will go up. So they can counter it. वो किस तरह से? Demand and cost both are changing with this. So by using the prudential regulations, the state bank can ensure that increase in cost, the cost side effects are more than the demand side effect. Cost में जो reduction होगी, उसको ensure कर सकते हैं कि वो demand में increase से ज़्यादा हो. कैसे? For example, if the central bank passes prudential regulation that the markup on consumer loans would be between 10% to 12%, for example. And on the other hand, for the businesses, this will be 5 to 6%. Ab, you have given more incentive to business and smaller incentive to consumer. What will happen? Consumption is going up and the production is also going up, but production is increasing more rapidly. ठीक है? अब जब दोनों चीजें बढ़ेंगी ना, तो economy will expand and the inflation will stay calm. It will not increase. This is simple solution. अच्छा, उसके साथ क्या होगा?
डॉक्टर साहब
जी.
I'm really sorry for interruption, sir. We are going out of time. So, and I have a lot of questions with me as well. So, if you allow,
yes,
can
please.
you go? Well, let's begin with the basic question, and there is another question added with that. You said that the world has already divorced the inflation targeting, and the monetary policy team, which we have headed by Governor State Bank, has come from. He has got 18-year experience working with IMF and then World Bank. And why they are not following the world best practices in Pakistan? What is the reason? How do you comment on that? And I request Fida as well, so they said they can share, they can throw question to you. Ji, sir.
Actually, the IMF is itself confused on the what is the optimal monetary policy. IMF is advocating the inflation targeting framework. If you participate in any training conducted by the IMF, you will find they are preaching the inflation targeting framework. But practically, what happens, the world is going against the inflation targeting framework quite frequently. In the global financial crisis, the world adopted quantitative easing, and today again most of the countries are adopting quantitative easing, and IMF is just silent on that because they are confused. They officially advertise and support the inflation targeting framework, but they have seen that this is not working. Framework. The United States went out of this framework and adopted quantitative easing, and there is no uh, वैसे भी वो IMF वाले उनको कहाँ डायरेक्ट कर सकते हैं, but if you look at the smaller countries, for example Thailand, the Thailand reduced policy rate from 1.75% to 0.5%. This is just quantitative easing, and there is no statement of the IMF that why you have done this. And actually the pandemic was an opportunity. Uh, Getting the support from pandemic, even if you are stuck with this IMF and you are obliged to follow the instructions of IMF, the pandemic has provided you opportunity. ये मौका था कि आप लोग जो है वो पॉलिसी रेट को वो बहुत नीचे लाके साइटिंग योर पैंडेमिक सिचुएशन, तो आप इसको 2% पे ला सकते थे, लेकिन हम शाह से ज्यादा शाह के वफादार हैं. We are much loyal to the IMF than what IMF demands. तो उस वजह से we are still stuck with the high policy rate. जी,
Thank you. I request Vedant to throw the questions he has. So one more question from my side. There is a question. Okay. Sir, what do you think? Will monetary policy be effective in controlling inflation, as you say? Because the other side, the government says that there are mafias who create artificial increase in prices. In that situation, can monetary policy work in controlling inflation?
Yes, there are mafias. This is quite strange phenomena that there are 2 or 3 dominant views about how the inflation comes into the picture. One in view about the exchange rates and international dynamics, but none of these dynamics is currently into the picture. What is the reason for current inflation? वो उसको माफिया कहते हैं, और I think that this is mismanagement. Poor management is responsible for inflation, and there are 2 main factors. One factor is the monetary policy itself. Monetary policy can control inflation, but not in this way. जिस तरह से वो practice कर रहे हैं, in this way they cannot control. What is the way of controlling inflation? Bring the policy rate down to 2%. What will happen? The markup payment will reduce to, for example, if these are 2600 billion today, if you make the markup policy rate to 2%, तो ये 2600 billion से कम होके 600 billion पे आ जाएंगी, right? Now you are in the position to provide a subsidy of 1000 billion on the prices and remaining 1000 for social safety nets. तो inflation control हो जाएगा. In the current regime that they have adopted, the current pattern that they have adopted, this is not this is not going to control inflation anyway.
Thank you very much, sir. Ji, you can throw questions.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर। सर मेरा नाम फिदा मोहम्मद है।
Waalaikum
सर मेरा आपसे एक सवाल है। करंट
Yes.
गवर्नमेंट के लिए जो सबसे बड़ा टारगेटिंग फैक्टर था वो था बीओपी डेफिसिट को रिड्यूस करना, क्योंकि इनको ज्यादा रिलाई करना पड़ रहा था आईएमएफ से लोन वगैरह जैसे ये हुकूमत आई। तो क्या आप ये नहीं समझते कि हाईएस्ट मार्कअप रेट रखने की वजह भी ये थी कि जितने भी हमारे यहाँ से जो फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर है जो खास तौर पे फाइनेंशियल इंटरमीडिएट्स के अंदर इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रही है, जिसे हम पोर्टफोलियो इन्वेस्टमेंट कहते हैं, उसको इंक्रीज करना था। और दूसरी तरफ से जो अब रिसेंटली जो स्टेट बैंक ने नया स्कीम पाकिस्तान जो डिफरेंट स्कीम्स बनाए थे पाकिस्तानीज के लिए, जो लोकल करेंसी या यूएस डॉलर करेंसी के मद में इन्वेस्टमेंट करी या सेविंग रखवाए पाकिस्तान के पास, तो क्या आप नहीं समझते कि मार्कअप रेट हाई रखने का एक फायदा ये भी था कि काफी ज्यादा हमारे पास फॉरेन रिजर्व जो गवर्नमेंट के पास जो है वो इंक्रीज हुए? थैंक यू।
Look, ये actually they presented this reason for defending the policy rate, लेकिन ये आपने if you look at the pattern for foreign direct investment, you will not find it to be significant. What actually is happening is the remittances are increasing. वो डे बाई डे बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, जिसकी वजह से आपका बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट कंट्रोल में आ गया है. देयर आर नो फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. ठीक है. एक्चुअली द इन्वेस्टमेंट looks at the returns, but they look more carefully, more on the political environment. हम तो ये समझते हैं ना कि हमने we are taking counter corruption measures, but actually what happens, the world sees in this lens. For example, the person who was president 3 years ago, the person who was prime minister 3 years ago, now he is not able to reside in the country. His investment is not safe. So how can I have a safe investment in Pakistan? Okay. Who the stupid is there to invest in this country in such a situation? वो जो पर्सनल लिंक से या लोग अपने पैसे, did you see any significant? You will not find anything. There was some hard money and
Sir, finally, one more thing. Sir, do you think that monetary policy should be in line with the fiscal policy that we are going towards? The fiscal policy regime, are both aligned?
Actually, the people talk about fiscal monetary coordination in some other terms, but actually, what is the fiscal policy today? The government is asking to reduce the consumption. For example, they are selling the cows and buffaloes to save some money. But on the other side, they are increasing the policy rate. और policy rate से क्या होता है? The markup payments are going up, or this is creating further fiscal stress on the government. So they are contrary to each other, and there is no coordination between these.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your very informative, interesting, and really very alarming presentation. Due to shortage of time, we are not able to throw all the questions that we received. The other questions and the comments that we will receive, we'll throw it to you through email, inshallah. Thank you very much for your presence. And
Actually, I did not realize that I have out of time. ये मैं समझ रहा था कि I will close my
the
presentation in
topic
half
is
hour.
very
लेकिन
interesting and
actually
very
I did not.
important.
जी,
The topic is really very interesting and very important. So, really, I even realize it's too late that we are getting out of time. Yes, Fida, thank you very much, sir. Fida.
सर आपका और आप तमाम हाज़रीन का जिन्होंने इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में शिरकत की और अपना कीमती टाइम दिया, मैं आप सबका बहुत बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ। इन केस कोई भी क्वेश्चन किसी भी पार्टिसिपेंट को पूछनी हो या वो चाहता हो इस रिलेटेड कि जो लेट आए वो हमें अपने क्वेश्चंस ईमेल या व्हाट्सएप कर सकते हैं, और जो भी क्वेश्चंस होंगे इंशाल्लाह हमारे मेंटोर, हमारे जो उस्ताद है, उनसे हम पूछ कर उनके आंसर लेकर आप लोग को इंशाल्लाह ज़रूर प्रोवाइड करेंगे कोई एक प्रॉपर चैनल है फॉर्मेट में। तो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सबका आने का यहाँ पर। सर आपका स्पेशली आपने टाइम दिया, आपने काफ़ी कुछ सिखाया हमें, काफ़ी कुछ सीखने को मिला, नए से नई चीज़ें मिली, तो मैं आपका शुक्रगुजार हूँ इसमें, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। तो ये अब जो है हम इख्तिताम की तरफ जा रहे हैं इस वेबिनार के, तो इंशाल्लाह फिर दोबारा बहुत जल्द मुलाकात होगी।